Okay. I don't even know where to begin.
I don't either. I was just thinking, I'm really, really hangry right now, so don't start a fight on the podcast.
I'm trying not to. We got a lot going on. I'm very frustrated.
You're very frustrated.
Yes, I'm very frustrated. The casita project never ends.
What do you mean it never ends?
You just added lamps.
I added lamps. That's not a big deal.
They get mounted to the wall.
Well, because it's small and I don't want to take up floor space because we don't really have any, but they are beautiful.
I love
lamps,
you with all my heart, love, but
they have the lamp and then there's a tray attached to the bottom. They're so pretty.
The amount of work you give me. Okay. I think it is, we should talk about your dad.
We should.
Just to give people an update. It has just been a roller coaster of emotions. You know, we went from, celebrating
getting a clear bill of health.
Yeah,
a clean PET scan.
Yeah, they cleared him and said, hey, you're good, and you just got to do your regular visits to make sure it doesn't come back. And then
we'll see you in 3 months.
Yep, and then he was having vision issues and couldn't figure out what was going on with his vision and his memory loss. And turns out that now the cancer is in his spine and in his brain. So back at it, I would say that, there is, they're not coming to us saying, oh my God, this is terrible.
No, they're coming to us saying that it's going to be rough, that the chemo is very intense. And not to share his whole medical history, but he's having to get chemo in his spine.
His spine and his brain, and on top of him just recovering from several treatments of chemo. So we have been on a kind of a roller coaster road, and then your parents were kind of stuck in this in between phase of moving into a new home and leaving another home, and it's just been a lot for us. It's been a lot, and we want you to know that when we get messages from you guys saying that you're praying, it means the world to us. Saying that we are in your thoughts and prayers. Renae and I we're overwhelmed with the love. So thank you.
So sweet.
All of you, with all the wonderful messages. And last week it kind of worked out that you were down in Houston.
You had Maz lined up.
Yeah, we had Maz already lined up. So we did kind of a different kind of a podcast. But I will say that
poor Maz, you have him on the podcast. I was like, hey Maz, you get to be my co-host because my usual co-host, my wife's dad, has brain cancer. I was like, oh man.
Yeah, no, it was tough, but I do appreciate Maz being, a guest on the podcast.
Such a kind human.
I love
a good soul.
Maz is a good dude, man, and again, like I said on that podcast, if you hear me not talk about a comedian, it's probably because
if you don't have anything nice to say,
don't
say anything at all.
But Maz, he was great, and I loved having him, and Renae and I was left solo with the kids while Renae went and did stuff with her dad at MD Anderson. And then we finally got to meet up for a day while we worked down in Portland. And then I had to go to Birmingham, Alabama, which was cool because I get there, I check into my hotel, and it says, welcome Texas A&M Aggies. And I was like, what's going on? I'm like, oh shit, the SEC baseball tournament is here.
Oh, so there were tons of guests at the hotel as an A&M guest?
Yes. And then I look at my, where the game is. I'm like, holy crap. Like it's 10 minutes from me.
It's going on while you have your show?
Yeah. And then I needed them to win because if they beat the Razorbacks, then they would get to play. No, if they beat LSU, then they would play the Razorbacks the next day. And I was like, oh, I can make that game. I need them to win. So they did win. I walked on stage at the Stardome, and I said, hey, my Aggies won yesterday. And then afterwards, somebody came up to me, and they go, man, we go every single day. We have tickets. Would you like to join us? And I was like, yeah. Can I take Flip? And he's like, no problem. Picked us up. Took us out there. He's got an 8-year-old who plays 8U baseball. Good family, good kids, and we just sat there right behind home plate, and and watch the game on Saturday, which was nice.
Yeah.
And then Showtime. And then I hauled ass to Lake Charles to meet you. And I was so happy that you chose to come, you know, and
I went back and forth. One, because I had been with my dad and helping my dad and my mom so much, so I hadn't seen the kids, and I was really missing the kids. And I know Garrett's having a hard time. It was like school came to an end. It just all kind of happened.
Then he just had dad, didn't have mom, and then he got mom, but then dad left.
It's been a rough week for him.
Yeah, it has been a rough week for Mr. Trevino over there. But, you know, in these situations, as a husband, I always, you know, it's like when it, you know, all of this happened pretty much Halloween of last year.
Yeah.
And I remember you saying, I want to go home. I want to go home. I have to go home. I have to see my dad. You know, and I remember thinking, man, there is no answer.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I missed out on Halloween. I went there, and the whole time I was sad that I wasn't doing Halloween with you and the kids.
But, you know, I, as your husband, as your spouse, as your partner, you know, I don't want to influence your decision in either way, right? Yeah. Had it been me, I would have said, look, you know, why don't you stay for Halloween and then go? But you wanted to see your dad. You wanted to hug him. And I've always said there is no right, you know, because you're always like, well, what do I do? And what should I do? And do I miss Halloween? But I want to see my dad. Do I go to my dad? And I always say in these situations, there is no wrong answer.
Yeah.
You know, there is no. So when this trip was coming up, and a lot of our neighbors, baseball friends, they had already made plans.
We've been planning this trip for
a long time.
Yeah.
For all of us to get together, for all of us to have drinks together, for all of us to have a good time. And, you know, I wasn't trying to influence you in one way or the other, even though I would tell Travis, like, hey, tell Jamie if she could encourage Renae, that'd be great. Because I missed you too, and we needed some husband and wife time. However, if you would have come to me and said, hey, I don't want to go,
yeah,
then nobody would have blamed you or said.
I think if emotionally, if we didn't sort of know what direction we were heading, if I had not been in the mood emotionally, I think I would have sat it out, because I don't want to ruin everyone else's time too.
Well, I also, you know, we were still trying to learn the severity, right? We were still trying to figure out, you know, we knew
it was severe. We just didn't know.
Well, I know, but we didn't know
treatment was going to look like that.
Right, and we also didn't know if we were going to get news like there's nothing we can do, right, and he has months, right? We did not know, but you know, MD Anderson has come up with a plan of attack. You know, they're going into it. Your dad is in high spirits. He's a strong man, right? Yeah. So I'm really glad that you came, and we had a blast, and
we did. I mean, I needed to just laugh for a little bit, you know, and get dressed up, because I had been, you know, in hospital clothes for a week and a half, and I needed to see you and I hadn't spent any time together, you know.
Well,
not that we weren't there for each other, because I definitely felt you were there for me the last week and a half, but I hadn't touched you, I hadn't hugged you, I hadn't seen you.
We haven't had drinks together. We hadn't had dinner together. We hadn't, you know, been on a date, if you will, together, you know, and I feel so lucky that, you know, the friends that we have found here in New Braunfels, and the energy that they bring, and everybody gets along, and everybody's, in my opinion, very funny and energetic and outgoing, and everybody, you know, so I get there Saturday. I fly in, you drive in, you're checking into the room. I'm meeting everybody because I came straight from the show. So I'm meeting everybody at the bar. And it was funny because, you know, the rest of the group had gotten there like at 6 p.m. So by the time I got there, which was 11, which isn't late for me, everybody was like, Steve, where? I don't know, man. And then Child, my cousin, was there. My sister was there. My dad was there. We all met up, and then we kind of sparked the fire up again to get people motivated to hang out again and chill. But I was laughing because, you know, as you guys know, the last time I was at a casino, somebody died. Right?
I'm not laughing at that, but I'm laughing about what you're about to say.
So now I'm at the bar, and right behind me, a woman passes out. Literally faints on the ground. And they're like, paramedics. And I'm like, oh my God, like, please, I cannot have somebody else die next to me. So they came and, thank goodness it was a diabetic thing they gave her, which was really cool. Some guy ran up right away and he goes, he didn't know her, but the person that she was with, she's diabetic. And then he knew to go get her some orange juice.
Yeah.
So right away he was like, we need some orange juice. And then they got her back up and running, thank God. But I was like, really? Again, right behind me, somebody's going to freaking faint and die. I'm like, shit, right? So thank goodness they didn't. Sunday was my show. Sunday we woke up. We all kind of hung out during the day. Yeah. Me and the guys went to go play a little golf.
Us girls hung out by the pool.
Oh my gosh, dude! And then you guys were cracking me up. You guys, I'm telling you, I remember being in my 20s, partying at the casino pool.
Yes.
Seeing those moms. Like I remember seeing those women and going, God, these bitches, right? Like.
Mind you, there's an adult side of the pool, and we're in the kids' side of the pool because that's just where we feel more at home anyway.
Dude, the Golden Nugget has these huge wrap around your neck golden champagne bottles
Massive.
to drink of.
They're probably like this big.
They're literally a little bit bigger than a champagne bottle. All the girls
they're bigger than a champagne
you guys
bottle.
Are sending videos of you girls with, and I'm like, dude, these bitches ain't making it till tonight. There's no way. A dance, you girls were dancing and the freaking thing. And then I
didn't get a champagne bottle because I'm so bougie. They're like, oh yeah, you can fill it with whatever well drink you want. And I'm like, well, I don't drink well. I'm not doing that.
But we played a little golf and then we caught up with you guys and watched the Aggies lose to Vanderbilt. But I was so impressed with the Golden Nugget in Lake Charles.
Yeah.
It feels like a Vegas hotel.
Yeah.
A lot of times, these not Vegas casinos, they just don't have the same.
They feel kind of dingy.
Feel.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. They bring you your drink in a plastic cup.
This one feels very Vegas.
Yeah.
Great restaurants, great atmosphere, great dealers. I mean, I had a blast. And then Sunday night was my show. It was a great show. And
my gosh, the crowd loves you.
Oh my gosh,
it was even Flip too before you. They were in such a good mood. Like
great
big
show.
Laughs.
Great show. I'm ready to move on with this material. Yeah. We are gonna film soon, and I can't wait to film. But I think I go through this every time.
You do.
Every time. And for those of you that have continued to see me over the past 2 years and have seen similar material and have seen the material get better and better and better and better, but it's the same material.
Yeah.
Thank you. But this will be the last time I tour with that material. I cannot wait to film it, put it behind me, put it out there for the world to consume, and then go at it again. Oh, and then Friday, I forgot. I got to see Friday night, Flip and I wanted to do a chill night because I knew that we were going to party Saturday and Sunday. I said, I'm going to go to the movies, right? So we took a late night movie, and it was The Machine by Burt Kreischer. It's good. It is good.
Can we watch it like video on demand at home so I can watch it?
I don't know, but
the theater?
It's a good theater movie. I would watch it again.
Yeah.
And it makes me so proud. Bert and I came up together. Sebastian and I came up together.
Would my dad like it? Maybe we go with my dad and my mom.
Yeah, I think he would like it.
Yeah.
And Burt Kreischer and I co-headlined together in Miami. Sebastian Maniscalco and myself co-headlined in Houston.
Yeah.
So to see two of my friends who I came up with have a movie in the movie theaters.
Yeah.
It was, I was like, wow, man, these are my friends. Like I know these guys. I came up with these guys. And, maybe someday I'll get to be in a movie, But it was awesome. So we decided to go. I got to tell you, man, funny, silly, heartfelt.
Checks all the boxes.
It was fun, man. It was a fun movie to watch. I enjoyed watching it. And, I already kind of knew, and I mean this by no offense to Sebastian, I already kind of knew that you kind of know what you're going into with the Sebastian movie. It seems very Meet the Fockers.
Uh-huh.
It seems very Meet the Parents
Yeah.
kind of a feel. So you kind of get the gist of, okay, you know, Sebastian, his wife, and he takes his dad.
Yeah.
His dad is different.
Right.
You know, you kind of know, and not that I'm not going to watch it. I will watch it to support Sebastian. With this one, I knew the machine story and the Russian story. I didn't know what the movie was going to be. Right? I was like, what could it be?
Yeah.
Right?
I haven't seen the previews. I know what you're talking about it, but I have no idea what you saw or what it's about.
It's great. It was really great. I really think your parents would enjoy it. And for the people that don't know the machine story, they fix it so that you kind of understand what happened. So there's, you know, we have today, and Bert plays Bert.
Yeah?
Bert plays Bert Kreischer, the comedian, the viral sensation.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
He plays himself. And then throughout the movie, they're telling you
that's kind of trippy.
The story of, you know, what happened when he went to Russia. And you even if you don't know the machine story, they give it to you. So it's still a good movie for somebody like your parents that they don't know what's going on. It's fun, it's exciting, it's adventure, it's a
and
little.
You don't have to be a Bert Kreischer fan to like it, to be into it.
Well, I mean, yes and
it
no.
Helps.
It helps, but you know, it does go to the absurd quite a bit.
Yeah.
But in a fun way and in a good way.
Okay.
But it was great. I mean, I enjoyed it. I highly recommend anybody out there to go out there and watch it because it was good.
Yeah.
It was good. And then, of course, Sunday night, Showtime, had a great time with the friends, the family.
Yes, dinner was awesome. You know what? The waiter was so good. They had to rush your food because you had to go do a meet and greet, so you couldn't finish the meal. They were going to box it up for you, but they like rushed it so that you could actually sit and eat. Well, you had ordered the mushrooms and the Brussels sprouts, and it's like family share size. After you left, because you had just nibbled on them a bit, the waiter said, "Here, let me take these back to the kitchen and warm them back up." So he warmed them back up so we could eat them. I just thought that was really awesome and thoughtful and
it was great. And then, you know, we got set up with a little section at the Blue Martini, and I didn't know what to expect, right?
Neither did I. When they said nightclub, that's the thing. When they said nightclub, I was thinking like Vegas nightclub. Like, I'm going to feel old. There's going to be girls with all their titties hanging out and their booties hanging out. And their
DJs, right? You know, but it was
can't move. Like, that's what I was thinking.
It was perfectly age appropriate for us.
Yeah, it was great.
It was live band. They played all the hits. They would play some dance music, but then they would play, you know, Journey. They'd play Bon Jovi. They'd play some country. But they kept it really, really
moving,
fun, and moving. So it was awesome, man. I really enjoyed the staff at the Golden Nugget.
Yeah.
The atmosphere. I mean, it was fun, and it was.
I didn't realize going. What's cool is so there's the pool. If you've never been, there's a pool. There's a lazy river. And then there's even a beach side. I mean, I guess it makes sense, Lake Charles, but I just didn't think of like Lake Charles having a beach, and there were people pulling up their boats to the beach. Like, it was cool.
It was, next time we go, I think I want to book a fishing trip with the guys instead of golf, where they pick you up. Because I was talking to somebody, he's like, dude, the guide comes right here, picks you up, you go fishing, you know, you come back. So it was awesome, man. And it was my first time to perform at the Golden Nugget in Lake Charles. And man, I had a absolute blast.
Yeah.
Absolute blast. I can't wait to go back. And they were like, I shouldn't tell you this, but you're probably coming back. I'm like, sweet. You know, but we were so appreciative of the staff. And I was so happy that you chose to come. Aww. And I was so happy that you were in a good place.
You know what I really am? I feel like I'm trying to pace myself emotionally, mentally, physically for like a marathon. I'm just preparing myself for the fact that it's going to be a hard summer and the kids are home. They're not in school. I don't know if that's going to make it trickier to navigate, but I'm trying to make sure I'm taking my vitamins and I'm exercising and keeping myself healthy so that I can be around my dad, but also make sure that I'm giving you the attention you need and letting you know that I love you and I appreciate you and balancing that out with the kids too, and making sure that I'm getting in the time with the kids, and the things that might fall by the wayside are work and, you know, friends. I'm just asking my friends, please keep inviting me to things. And if I flake on you, please forgive me. Like, I just don't know what the schedule's going to look like in the coming months.
But I think that, you know, this is a podcast about couples and the things that we go through. It's always hard for me because, you know, I don't have the answers. And I always think it's so difficult in this situation when you ask my opinion, and I'm like, I mean, I can give you my opinion, but at the end of the day, there is no wrong answer. Whatever it is that you want to do and however you choose to handle it, you should handle it that way. I mean, obviously, you know, I will be there to say, hey, let's calm down, let's do something else, let's go hang out, you know, but it's definitely, you know, something that as a couple that you have to go through, and you just don't know how to navigate it, you know, and again, you know, when you came to me and said, I want to go home right now, I'm like, okay, you know, I'm not going to stop you. I'm not going to tell you no. I'm not, you know, so it is definitely a difficult thing. And I am glad that you chose, because, I mean, I really missing you, really wanted some Steve and Renae time to party. And
well,
you know.
and I knew it would have sucked really bad for you to be there with a whole bunch of couples and entertaining friends by yourself.
Well, we've always talked about it. Like, we are definitely a team. You know, people always say, "Well, Steve's great, but without Renae, not as great." You know, and Renae's great, but
no, it's me by myself.
Like, together, we are freaking awesome and hilarious. So yeah, it would have sucked to be there with a bunch of friends and couples and be the only guy, and also, you know, that kind of. It's different when I ask those guys to come play craps with me, and I'm also leaving my wife to go do that.
Yeah.
It's different when I don't have my wife there, and I'm like, come on, dudes, let's go.
Play until 5 a.m.
Play
And it was so funny. I called you about 4:30. First, I text you at 4, and I'm like, are you okay? And you just respond, yeah. And then at 4:30, I call you, and the first thing you say when you pick up, I'm with Carlos and Bins. Like, I'm not by myself. I'm with Carlos and Bins.
I'm with other. Yeah, they're out here too. They're with me too. And then of course we started losing as soon as you called, and I'm like, fuck it, let's go to bed. It is what it is. But
I wasn't the only. I was glad to know I was not the only wife who was calling her husband at that hour.
No, we had a great time with those guys, and just, you know, again, I was so grateful that you chose to come, because I didn't know what to tell you. You know.
Well, and I think you have taught me this. You just have to take the opportunities. Like, there's never going to be the perfect time, and you have to take the opportunities when they arise. And this had been planned, and it worked. You know, my sister's here helping with my folks too, so it worked that I could get away. It worked that the kids had already been situated, and so I just felt like we got to take advantage of this time. I don't know when we'll be able to do it again. I don't know the next trip I'll travel with you again or meet you someplace. But.
And we don't know what's going to happen with your dad's health, right? I mean, you know, we don't know if things take a turn for the worse. God forbid they don't. And then all of a sudden Renae's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, so, and I've always said that, you know, look, life is busy. Life is going to be busy.
Yeah.
Right? So I always take advantage of even a lunch with you. Like right now, let's go to lunch.
Yeah.
You know, find those moments to sneak in and value that time, because, you know, once you have kids and a career and life, I mean, it's never, ever going to be, you know, perfect.
Yeah.
You just have to take advantage of the time that you can take advantage of to be together.
Yes.
You know,
yeah.
And we had I will also say that there's tons of, it's funny how we've kind of learned our flow at a casino.
Oh, I was
right?
just telling someone else about that. Yes, we have our rhythm or our system when we go to a casino, because you and I don't enjoy gambling. Like your attitude towards gambling is way different than mine.
Well, I love to be at the tables gambling, and you want the dinner and you want some hang time. So I already know it's
Yeah.
dinner with the wife, hang out and have drinks with the friends till midnight, 1 o'clock, and then I can go.
And then I can go.
It's our little, but you
But
know,
also for a long time, you wanted me to like stand there and like cheer you on and pretend to be into it. And I'm like, no, it gives me so much anxiety to see this money spread out on the table. I don't want to stand next to you and watch.
well, no, but then we've learned how to kind of, and to be honest with you, I do enjoy, us hanging out. We danced,
Yeah.
we hung out, we mingled with friends, we mingled with family. Dad wanted to take a picture of everything and everybody.
Oh my gosh, your dad was so much fun this weekend. He was having a good time. That was good to see. I think because I'm going through what I am with my dad, it just made me so happy to see your dad happy and having fun with you.
Yeah, and the older he gets, the more I go. If he's happy, I'm in.
Yeah.
If he's having a good time,
The good
I'm
days.
in.
Yeah.
And nobody's gonna tell me otherwise. Nobody's gonna say, "Hey, don't hang out or come to bed." I'm like, "Fuck that, dude." My dad.
He was having a great time.
Life is short, man. Life is short, and if I have those opportunities to enjoy those times with my dad,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have them.
Christine was like, he was like the paparazzi. He was taking pictures of everyone. He was just having a good time.
Yeah.
Get together. I want a picture.
Dad was all about it. And then, of course, we drove home yesterday and, just catching back up here at the house because, for me, I was away. One, I was home with the kids alone, which was not an easy task. And I just got to tell you, thank God for our beautiful neighbors. We have wonderful neighbors and friends that they knew I was here with the kids alone. And they would come over and hang out, help me with Delilah and play with Delilah and hang out. And I just, I one of the other reasons I love that we moved back to Texas because, we do have that sense of community here. We do have people that are willing to help and look out for us.
And
vice
like-minded,
versa.
you feel comfortable with them.
When we lived in Los Angeles, like we didn't know our neighbors,
Yeah.
and our neighbors didn't have kids.
Yeah.
We didn't know anybody. It was just,
Yeah.
we're kind of, you're on an island by yourself, trying to figure it out. Here, we have our friends, our neighbors, and that's exactly what I wanted, for my kids was that sense of community. And our neighborhood has become like our little Portland.
Yeah.
Everybody knows each other. We hang out with our neighbors. They come over. I mean, it's just it's been great to have that. But it was me by myself with the kids, you and MD Anderson, me running home to help with all the things that were going on at home.
Yeah.
On top of the things I had going on at home.
Yeah.
And then to turn around, go work, go to the deal. Today's Tuesday, finally get home just for me to have to go back on the road on Friday,
Yeah.
But I do think we need to do something with Garrett and Delilah. Maybe take them to Schlitterbahn.
Well, we were in South Texas because I felt bad about leaving to Lake Charles, not having spent time with them. I took them to the aquarium with Grandma Dora and Grandpa Art. They went with us, and they really enjoyed that. But yeah, I think we're going to have to fit in the next thing is like fit in a Schlitterbahn trip or something.
And then this weekend, I'm going to pull it up. I'm in St. Louis?
I don't even know. See,
For
I'm
the
so
first
out of
time.
the loop. My brain has not been there. St. Louis is fun. How did I not realize you were in St. Louis
Is
this
it
weekend?
St.
You're in
Louis?
Springfield, Missouri.
Oh,
I was
Missouri.
like, I don't remember St. Louis. You're in Springfield, Missouri. And then Richmond, Virginia. And then you're doing Scottsdale. And I heard that you're going back to a casino. I heard Sosoba Casino's already sold out. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Yes. Sosoba Casino. I don't even know if I'm saying it
Talking
correctly.
stick.
Soba. Is it Soba?
Oh, the other one is in San Jacinto,
That one is sold out.
California. Wow.
That one is sold out already.
And then Cincinnati, Ohio.
And
then
the Brea.
Brea, I've got to switch, but I think that maybe the whole family goes to that one. And then we're off. It's
Yeah.
July. So crazy. Time flies, man.
Yeah.
Time flies. We got one more baseball tournament with Garrett. That's it this weekend. I'm hoping to get back Sunday and be there for that.
Yeah.
I'm hoping your parents feel up for going to do that with them.
I hope so too. But you know what? It's hard though because what's the word? What do you call where they play?
Oh, there's
That
the
place
complex,
where they play. The complex. Thank you. Has no bleachers and has no shade. So it'll depend on
I might have
the
to go to
weather.
Academy and get you a little canopy.
You know what? Usually some of the other, because I'm by myself, so I usually don't take the chairs and all the stuff. It's just too much to manage.
We're wagon people. Once you become wagon people.
Well, I got one wagon, and if it doesn't fit in the one wagon, I'm not bringing it.
We have become wagon people. Minivan people and wagon people. That's when you know.
Oh no, I'm not a minivan person yet.
No, I'm saying it's in that same department of you have a minivan or you have a wagon. You drag the damn wagon around and you're like, oh, hey guys, got my wagon with my chairs and all the stuff. So I'm super excited for Hawaii.
Yeah.
Can't wait. Everything's booked. Flights are booked. Gonna do Hawaii. Super excited about taking the family there. And again, when it comes to, and I know me and you, before we started the podcast, we said we don't want to talk too much about my parents, but I'm hoping that your dad is doing better by then and feeling better, and we can then go to Hawaii with a comfortable conscience, right?
Yeah.
And making sure that we're there without really worrying about.
That's my fear right now, right? If I'm being honest, that's the thought that crosses my mind as we've been looking forward to this trip, but I just don't know where we will be in July, and the thought of being there and not being able to come back is like scary.
Yeah, it's a tough one, but we're going to play it by ear, and we're going to see, what happens and how it happens. And again, I would like to take you to Brea, and the whole family to go to Brea and do some, maybe go watch the Angels play.
Oh, yeah. We haven't done that in a long time.
Maybe go to Universal Studios. Now that Garrett's getting a little older, poor kid, was at Universal in Orlando. And he was tall enough for, hello, cliffhanger. He was tall enough for the Jurassic Park ride, dude, but.
Oh, it scared the crap
poor
out of
kid,
him.
dude.
He didn't want to go on any rides after that.
Because it threw him. Like, he was little, and thank God I grabbed him, but I was like, man, had I not grabbed him, he was going to get banged up. I mean, it threw him around because he was still, this was 2 years ago.
Maybe he shouldn't have stood on his tippy toes. No, I'm kidding.
He was tall enough. He was definitely tall enough to ride the ride, but it did scare the shit out of him, dude. And we did take him to Fiesta, Texas, and he did like that.
Yeah.
I think there was a couple rides that he was still a little scared, but once he did them, he had a good time.
Oh, so. You know what? Speaking of that, that's what we can do with the kiddos. Someone over at SeaWorld for the Mother's Day podcast donated tickets for SeaWorld. They were so sweet and generous to do that, and they said that they would love to have us come back and be their guest, and they'll kind of show us around.
Is it somebody that works there?
Yeah.
Ooh, when do we do that? Let's go.
That's what I'm saying. Let's do that. We need to take advantage of that and do that.
We'll set that up.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And with that being said, I think we're coming to an end here at the podcast because guys, we love you so much, and we also don't want to, yes, we're having a hard time, and yes, it has been a rough couple of weeks,
but we've also found a very deep sense of appreciation for each other. Through it, there are good things that are coming out of it too.
Yeah, no, it was weird. There was I don't know. I think that maybe sometimes some couples, when they go through something like this, it's either going to make you guys more apart or more together.
Yeah. And
I think that for me and Renae, it definitely brought us more together.
Yeah.
And it definitely, I don't know, we just immediately loved on each other more and loved each other more. But people don't realize how strong, and I've talked about this a lot, how strong your brain is.
Yeah.
And what your brain and the they talk about the secret and all the positive things, right? So, if you wake up every day and you look at your spouse and go, God, I can't stand that motherfucker. God, they piss me off.
I want to strangle him.
Yeah, I want to kill him or her. Or, God, everything, the way she eats, I can't stand the way she eats. Then guess what? You are going to start to really hate that person.
Yeah.
because it's all.
Oh, but you see that so much as couples age, they just like bicker so much. They're like at each other and they can't stop. Is that? I hope that's not you and I one day.
Well, no, but I wake up every day and I look at you and I go, God, I love my wife, and man, my wife is more beautiful today than she was yesterday, and God, I love her. And I mean, you wear me out, but I'm okay with the that you're wearing me out, because every day I wake up and I go, God, I love my wife, and my wife is I'm lucky, and my wife is more beautiful today than she was yesterday. Well, those are the things that you're feeding your brain.
Yeah.
And if you have that attitude towards your spouse, then those things are going to happen for you, right?
Yeah.
But if you wake up every day going, God, I can't stand that bitch, and oh, look at her eat over there, and gosh, she's pissing me off.
I wish you just go on the road already.
Right? No, but you create that for your relationship.
Yeah.
I find appreciation in you, watching you be a fantastic mother, working hard to be a good mother. I see you trying to exercise and work out and be better, and I admire those things. But if I sat there and said, I can't put up with this bitch anymore, and the way she changes, and the way I live in fear all the time, I can't
I'm pretty sure you said that to me when I was on the exercise bike this morning.
Dude, they brought the new table for the patio, and I look at it and I go, oh, it's small. I better go tell her. I'm like, and I'm already like, oh my God, she's gonna send it back. It's gonna be a whole thing. Then they're not gonna have another one. It's not the right size. I'm like, oh my God, dude, let me go tell her to come check. Like, just come check, because I was just preparing myself for the Captain Evil Renae. It's too small. This is not what I wanted. It doesn't fit. Send it back. I was like, oh shit. It's like right with those freaking lamps. Timmy's here helping me, and he's like, hey man, I'm here to help. What can I do? And I said, well, I got
lamps. Which lamps?
Your freaking side lamps.
Oh.
And I go, you know what, Tim? I go, I got to put those side lamps up if you can help me. I go, you know what? I go, don't do that yet, because you're going to have to tell us
how high,
exactly where you
gotta
want.
lay in the bed and figure out where like the arm length is. Yeah.
How far you want. And then I got to find a stud, because if it's also, that's what you don't understand. This is not an easy task.
They're not that heavy.
If you're going to have people putting stuff on them.
Okay. Fair enough.
Then I have to make sure that I find a stud.
Properly mounted to the wall.
Because I can't just put anchors, and over time, those anchors are great, but they just, a little bit of pressure, and then all of a sudden they're falling out of the damn wall. Yeah. So my fear now is that we have the bed, things you don't think about. We have the bed. If I don't have a stud that's way over here, and then I don't have a stud over here.
I didn't think about that.
Now, it's not going to be perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, let's hope we get lucky.
That they're sort of centered.
And that we probably should have told the contractor we plan on doing this when there was no walls, so that we could have put
stud where they wanted.
We could have put a stud across the studs.
Well, you live and you learn.
So I'm just hoping that we get it right, dude. I really am.
Okay.
Because it's going to be a whole fucking thing. Anyway, Old Salt coffee. Absolutely delicious. I don't know at this point.
I need more coffee today. I need another cup.
I don't know at this point how you are not drinking Old Salt coffee. It is delicious. They're veteran owned and operated. Please order oldsaltcoffee.com. Trevino 10 is the code. If you have not downloaded Pick Cherries, you need to.
Y'all, it's so easy. Just go to the App Store, go to the Play Store, whatever phone you have, and download Pick Cherries for us, please. It's actually a really cool app.
I love it because I don't know where to go for podcasts.
Yeah. So it's so overwhelming. There's so much now.
When I'm driving, I just go to the Pick Cherries app. I'm like, I want to hear crime. Boom, I hit crime.
I want entertainment news.
Yep, whatever you want, and then you pick it. So it's awesome. Pick Cherries.
And no ads.
No ads, and you can pick a cherry and send it off. So, and then, of course, our friends at Aztec Chevrolet. God, we love them. Thank you so much. And Lou, I know I owe you a phone call. I owe Lou a phone call.
Yeah.
I've been real bad this week about,
well, it's been a week.
Not returning phone calls and not being on top of it like I normally am, because it has been a rough week for us. So with that being said, we love you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you for all of the sweet messages. I sincerely appreciate it.
I want you to know that I know you're watching this podcast thinking to yourself, man, they seem a little somber. They seem a little overwhelmed. But we are very happy, and we are in a good place, and we are not upset with each other. We are just going through a lot.
We're in the thick of dealing with something, and you are watching two humans navigate their way through something.
Yep. So we love you guys, and we wish you the best with whatever you have going on at home. And thank you for continuing to be on this journey with us. We love you. Here's another episode of Stephen Captain Evil. Thank you for the continued support.